get started lying on our backs today. So bring your knees into your chest, hugging them in close. You just start to rock side to side and starting to breathe in and out through your nose. Eventually extending that left leg down. Bring that right knee into the chest. Make some circular motions here, loosening up the hip. Eventually hug that in really close again. And then we're going to pull it across our bodies in a gentle twist, keeping that right shoulder connected to the mat. Eventually making your way back to center, hug that knee into the chest. Maybe make some more circles with it. Eventually extending it down. Bring that left knee into the chest now. Hugging it in. Creating some circles. Eventually hugging it in and then drawing it across the body, keeping that left shoulder connected to the mat. Remembering to breathe here. Eventually coming back to center. Hug that knee in. Maybe take a few more circles. And then re-extend out. We're going to lengthen as much as we can, reaching our arms over our head, toes to the floor. Really just lengthen and reach here as far as you can. And then exhale, bring it into your knees, into your chest. Rock side to side. Maybe bringing up your legs all the way up to happy baby here. Taking some more rocks side to side. Eventually place those feet together. We're going to place them on the mat in a supine butterfly position. So placing those feet, soles of the feet together down onto the mat. Take those hands, bring them to your hips, and just rest them here. Focusing on your breath, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose, letting the weight draw those hips open. Feel that belly button up and into your spine. Take a few more moments here. Eventually grabbing the outer edges of your legs, pull them together, drawing those knees up to the sky. Bring those knees into the chest and take a few rocks forward and back along the spine. Take this at your own pace, whatever that may be. Eventually rolling all the way forward to a tabletop position. Knees underneath the shoulders, wrists underneath the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Draw that belly down, gazing up. And then round to the back, drawing that belly button up and in. Once again, drawing the belly down. Exhale. Inhale, round to the back. Take a few of these at your own pace. Going as slow or as fast as you'd like. Maybe you start to venture off into other movements, circling the hips. Maybe circling the head and the hips. Whatever feels good for you today. Eventually, we're going to keep our knees where they are, and we're going to extend our arms forward into a puppy pose here. Keeping those arms parallel, your gaze can be either forward or bringing it down to the mat. Whatever feels good for you here. Melting that chest down, keeping those hips tall. Eventually swimming forward to a Sphinx position, drop that belly, plant the forearms down, and then squeeze the mat with those hands and pull back. Draw that belly button up and in, take the shoulders back, lifting the collarbones to the sky. Take a couple head rolls here. Dropping the chin. Planting those hands down. We're going to lift up to a cobra position, extending slightly through the elbows, continually drawing that belly button up and in, holding this position for a few moments. You take that head back and release it down. Take a few more head rolls here. Maybe fully release it down to the mat. Stacking your hands, take that forehead down on top of them. Maybe shift your hips side to side. Take a few breaths. And then plant your forearms once again in that Sphinx position. We're going to reach back and grab that right foot. And you can flip your grip here by twisting your hand and fingertips to face the way your toes are going. It gives you a little more leverage to push that heel down. Push the heel down into the hip, keeping that knee nice and safe. Or maybe you're back here. Get a nice quad stretch. Take a few more moments here. And release it back. Plant that right hand, switching to the opposite side. Grab that left leg. Flip your grip if you like. Swiveling that hand. So pointing that elbow to the sky. If that's a little bit clearer. Zoom is always hard to see the details. And just breathe here. Drawing that heel to the hip. Eventually releasing that. Take those hands to the mat once again, dropping the forehead. Shift the hips side to side. We're going to plant our hands by our shoulders now. Fingertips forward, elbows facing up. We're going to bring our big toes together, and on our next inhale, we're going to lift the toes and the chest. Inhaling up. Lifting the hands with us as well, hovering them slightly above the floor. Kissing our shoulder blades together. Maybe you try and inhale, lift a little further. Strengthening those back muscles. And releasing down. Plant the hands, take it back to a cat-cow position in tabletop. Take a few of these on your own. For a variation of your choice. Eventually, when you're ready, tuck your toes, lift your hips to a downward dog position. Think about sending those hips to the sky, long, flat back. Tilting that tailbone up. Maybe you pedal through the feet here. Eventually shifting forward to a high plank position. Dome to the upper back, draw that belly button up and in. Maybe shift forward and backward on the toes. Eventually shifting forward on the toes, chaturanga down, keeping those elbows in. Inhaling to an up jog to get back to your first child's pose. Knees widespread, arms forward. Melt the heart down to the mat. When you're ready, walk your hands up to the seated position on your heels. We're going to come and bring our hands, inhaling them up to the sky. And exhaling to your favorite side, shifting the hips off the heels. Inhaling back up. Exhale, shift. So again, inhaling up. Exhaling to the side. Inhaling up. And exhaling over. Take one more inhale up. Exhale to the side. Inhale up and then take it forward into this child position. Maybe keeping the knees slightly closer this time. Giving the back a slightly different stretch. I'm going to shift forward to this high plank position again, tucking the toes underneath. Sending the hips back to an upward dog. Inhale, lift that right leg up, bringing it forward to a pigeon position at the top of your mat. So we're going to try, our goal is to get that right shin parallel to the top of the mat. Totally fine if it's not. Think about keeping your hips even here. So an even weight distribution between your left leg and your right leg. We're gonna inhale, lift it up. Exhale, forward fold here. We're gonna hold this for a few moments. Think about your breath, relaxing into this position, letting oxygen flow freely throughout your body. Take a few more breaths. Eventually coming up, plant those hands. Shoot the leg back to the high plank position. Take a vinyasa if you'd like. So chaturanga down. Inhaling to up dog. Exhaling back to a downward dog. Shifting the hips tall to the sky. On your next inhale, lift that left leg up. Bringing it forward to that same pigeon position. Try to get that left shin parallel to the top of the mat. Totally fine if it's not. Evenly distribute that weight between your hips. And then inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Continually focus on that breath. Releasing in this position. Letting the oxygen flow freely. Take a few more breaths here. Eventually coming up to your hands. Swing that leg around, coming to that Baddha Konasana position, drawing the soles of the feet together. We're gonna inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold here. Keeping a long, flat back, so trying to hinge at the hips, drawing the belly button down, thinking about creating length with that long, flat back. And then coming up, we're gonna lower all the way to our back now. Keeping our legs in this Baddha Konasana position for this reclined butterfly. Maybe you bring the hands to the hips once again. Maybe you put one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly button, or maybe your palms are up to your side. Whatever feels good. Just let the hips fall open. Eventually plant the heels, drawing the knees up to the sky, and then take a few windshield wipers back and forth, drawing the knees from one side to the other. Eventually hugging the knees into the chest, take a few rocks side to side. Do anything else you need to do to prepare for your final pose. In Shavasana, you take a few circles with these knees. Maybe you go to happy baby. Anything else that feels nice. Eventually extending both your legs out. Bring those palms to the sky. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades underneath the back. Adjust any hair or article of clothing. Just begin to relax here. Maybe imagine yourself floating on water. Trying to be as still as possible. Letting the ripples die out. Coming to complete stillness in your final pose, Shavasana. Start to become aware of your breath. Taking bigger inhales and exhales. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe taking the arms overhead on a big inhale, stretching long and tall, lengthening. Eventually rolling to your favorite side, cradle your head with your arm. Eventually making your way to a seated position at the top of your mat. Bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes. Take a few inhales and exhales. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out the mouth. Once again, inhaling. Out the mouth, exhale. Take a few head rolls here. And taking the shoulders to the ears, draw them back. Bring the hands back to heart center. Great job today. Have a great Thursday. Namaste. See you later.